What is the most weird stuff you had to sign?
I think Anders signed a baby once. I think he did. That was quite funny actually.
Na, da haben die Eltern aber ganz schön Glück gehabt. Als In Flames noch Death Metal waren, hätten die das Baby nicht signiert. Die hätten es gegessen.
Ihr neues Album Siren Charms wird heiß diskutiert. Natürlich ist die Rede von In Flames und hier ist Björn.
Hey man.
Björn, how's the tour going?
Really well. It's really good to be back on the road again. It's been a fucking year since the last time we toured. So.
But you do like the work in the studio as well, don't you?
I think I like the creative process the most. Mm-hmm. The actual recording later on can get very repetitive at times, so that's not as fun.
The new record got a big progression, I think.
Mm-hmm. In people's ears sometimes we take a huge step, but for us this is something that's grown over the years in between. And we don't write on the road most of the time, so when we actually start writing, it's after a whole record cycle. So musically we might have changed a little bit, but the music starts from exactly the same point. All the riffs, melodies are from the deep caves within my mind somewhere.
Talking about the production, I think the electronics are more in the focus. Is that correct?
I think that he left more room for it when he mixed it. It's not a death metal record.
Nope.
And we've not been a death metal band for a long time.
Right.
And we actually never talked about the death metal issues. We've never done that. We just got scooped into that category because we had growling vocals. Mm-hmm. But we always focused on melody. That's the important thing for us.
Am I right when I say that your personal inspirations come out more clearly, like the classic rock stuff?
I definitely think so. That's where my roots are. I mean, that's what I always brought with me. And in all the songs that I've co-written with Jesper or Glenn or all the way through, there is an element of classic rock in there. That's from my upbringing.
Right.
And that's always how I'm going to sound, in a way, you know.
And Anders is the driving force for the more modern electronic stuff?
Well, he's a musical... He devours music. He loves every kind of music, every genre, every style. That's the cool thing, because I'm very conservative. I only have like my 10 records that I listen to, my go-to records.
Like which?
Well, the classics, obviously. Rainbow Rising, Slide It In, you know.
Whitesnake.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of those, a couple of Van Halen records too. But Anders, he gets constant inspiration and new ideas from the outside. I don't. And I think the clash where we two meet somewhere is where In Flames sort of nowadays gets created. Mm-hmm. And so it's good. He kicks me in the ass a little bit and I try to restrain him a little bit, and somewhere in the middle, that's where we create the music.
Are there any arguments?
Yeah, of course. We're a band, of course we argue. But it's never, I mean, musically when we're done with the songs, us five, and we're happy with it, there can be no more argument. Because I don't care what people think about it, because I know we're proud and love the songs that we've done.
So even though Anders and you are the main guys, do the other guys have any impact?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's their instruments. I can't tell Daniel how to play the drums. I can just show him an idea of what I want him to do. But in the end, Daniel is the drummer, and he's the best drummer I know.
You still do signing sessions. How important is your contact to the fans?
Extremely important. That's the one reason why we're here. You know, without the people listening to what we do, it would make no sense to tour. You know, and a chance for them to talk a little bit with us, and for us to hear their experiences on a concert or what albums they like or whatever. It's super important. You know, and it's always been. And it will continue to be that. The physical contact, with shaking people's hands and writing something on their papers or whatever, I think it's important. I'm still a fanboy when it comes to certain things, so I do the same thing.
And what is the most weird stuff you had to sign?
I think Anders signed a baby once. I think he did. That was quite funny, actually.
There are those rumors on the internet about a project with you, Mikael from Opeth, and Bill from Mastodon.
Yeah.
But Mikael already denied.
We talked about it, you know, when we met in Australia a couple of years ago, and it's that would be a fantastic and fun idea, but nothing has been done. It's just like that would be fun to do. So you know, you say this to a lot of people, but these are guys that would be really interesting to work with if ever this came together, you know. So I'll definitely be up for it when I have time.
Will you get sued from your old singer for credits?
We did?
Yeah.
All right, more than I know.
Don't you even know that?
No. Stuff like this happens all the time. I mean, because in the past, In Flames wasn't really a band; it was more of a project. And if you know our history, you'll know that we had a couple of different singers. Michael from Dark Tranquillity was one of them, and Henke Fors. I don't know where he was from, but he was another singer. And Anders was in Dark Tranquillity at the time.
Right.
You know, it was all a big inbred circus, basically, in Gothenburg. And so members come and go, and, you know, some people are content with what they did and some are not, so.
I was just wondering that he come up right now, like 20 years later.
Yeah, it's interesting. If he did that, it's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Another thing I read on the internet, I don't even know if it's true, I just read it, a quote from Jesper. He said he didn't even leave because of the alcohol.
Of course, that's not the only reason that he quit. Of course not. There was several things, but it was a part of it. He's still one of my best friends. I'll support him every day, all the time. If he needs anything, I'm there. But our schedules are so different now, so we rarely see each other. We almost need to do a tour together to hang out, you know?
Yeah.
And that's rarely happening. So touring was a part of what was tough for him. So, but yeah, I mean, he's free to say whatever he wants.
I was just wondering because he said, well, I don't like the musical change they did and all
Yeah,
that.
that could be one reason too. But he was part of it all the way up until like two records ago.
Yeah, right.
So that's not the whole truth either.
Unsere heutige Frage: Was haltet ihr von Siren Charms? Top oder Flop? Falls euch dieses Video gefallen hat, denkt ans Liken, Teilen und Abonnieren. Falls ihr von In Flames Shirts, Hoodies, Poster, CDs, LPs, die limitierte Siren Charms Fanbox oder das exklusive Siren Charms Bundle mit CD und Benzinfeuerzeug haben wollt, all das gibt's natürlich bei EMP. Klickt einfach auf den Link unten in der Beschreibung. Bis zum nächsten Mal, sagen Markus und Jan.